Yeah, well, I think what's really interesting is the premise and the promise of retail media advertising is the data. It is each of the companies that are in that space, which is booming and growing. I'm sure there's two more that have just been added to the list while we're here at the conference, but they have a lot of real world purchase data. It is not guessed, it's not modeled, it's not um, you know. Attributed. It is actual sales data, and be able to bring that sales data back through the programmatic channel helps inform buying decisions. So where in other programmatic buying uh, opportunities, you're really appending the data and pushing it back down through the pipes. This is almost the reverse, where the data comes up through the pipes and you're really making informed targeting decisions based on real world purchase data.
When we talk about the use of first party retail data and we talk separately about creative storytelling, was wondering, are those two realms that separate, or is there a connective tissue there, particularly when it comes to the most effective uses of first party retail data?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We all, as marketers, want to be storytellers. We also all want to sell stuff as effectively and as efficiently as possible. I do think in certain cases, there is a bit of actually a disconnect between what you want to do, kind of moving someone through their journey and their purchase decision through telling a story from broader based targeting all the way down into intent. Some of that's actually short circuited by the retail media channels because, again, you have that very direct purchase data. So if you know someone is a frequent traveler on United, they're here, presenting and talking, and you know where they fly, you know where they go, you know where their seat is, and so you're not even really making inferences about them, but you've got direct data and know that if you're a hotel, a rental car, or any other endemic, that is the place to go.
Speaking of disconnects, brands often struggle to bridge the natural gaps between on-site, off-site, and CTV channels. How can you help them bridge those gaps to deliver a more connected retail media experience?
Yeah, well, what's interesting and one of the panelists talked about it today, yes, there's been this exponential growth in retail media, but what's also happened is we're now lumping more channels into what we're defining as retail media. So yes, there's growth in the category, but we used to call it shopper marketing, and now it's retail media. We used to call it end aisle displays and other SPIF programs that went into on-site retail marketing, and now that's all under this big bubble of retail marketing that is also includes the programmatic channels, it includes the screens in the stores, it includes the data transfer. So absolutely more ways to leverage retail data, get in front of somebody right at that point of purchase, and the category is really just consuming everything else that we've done in retail under this one big balloon term of retail media.
So the perennial issue of so much data available, so little of it seemingly actionable. Where do you see the biggest opportunity and maybe some of the risks for advertisers in scaling programmatic retail media with that in mind?
Well, it's interesting. There's some slam dunks when you talk about endemics, right? If you're selling TVs and you're working with Best Buy, if you're selling packaged goods and you're working with Kroger, and so there are these slam dunks with endemics, and then you've got the mega players in the space, the Walmarts, the Amazons, obviously, who have a tremendous wealth of data, right? So you see opportunities for the endemics in their endemic retail environments, and then you see opportunity for anybody really to leverage kind of the mega retail media players, right? So you could look at Best Buy data, really good if you're selling consumer electronics or home durables. Probably not all that helpful if you're selling I don't know, real estate or condos or something like that. But when you look at Amazon and their breadth of it, you could come up with any category that could gain value from Amazon's data.
Jeff, we're always looking towards the future, but as the year winds down, it's maybe a little bit more focused in terms of what's coming. So, in terms of your perspective, what innovations in automation or AI do you think will have the greatest impact on the next phase of retail media growth?
Yeah, I think it's, quite frankly, I'd love to see more coalescence in the space. Right now, everybody's, a few of them will trade on shared platforms like the Trade Desk and a few others, but essentially each one of them pretty much has their own buying platform and their own way of going to market, and some of them are good, some of them are not so good. And so you're forced, one, to chunk out budgets, which is never great because you like budget fluidity, and two, you've got to learn different operating systems and things like that. So I'd love to see more of a unifier across the space of retail media, and I'd love to see, and with that, being able to leverage different intent signals across, right? So I think that the big word we're hearing now, and it'll be a big one going into next year, is this notion of signals, right? We're moving from segments to signals, from audiences to signals. Retail marketers, retail shoppers, shopping platforms have a lot of signals in them. I'd love to aggregate them all, being able to understand, oh, they just purchased a camera from Best Buy, an airplane ticket from United, and a Dramamine from Walmart. Oh, this is a traveler. They're going on a thing, and I can leverage all that and put a Marriott ad or whatever it is in front of them. So I think I'd love to see more at least collaboration and be able to kind of connect the dots between those multiple retail experiences.